Welcome back, my fellow artistes, to another Tip-Off Tuesday. It's been a minute. Actually, it's been a hell of a lot longer than a minute. But we're back, we're stoked, and today's video is gonna be awesome. So that being said, let's get into it. So today, I'm going to show you guys how to make hard and soft lines with your charcoal pencils. Now, I use multiple tools, and I'll show you guys how I use everything from brushes to smudgers to just regular pencils to make the best lines possible. So that being said, let's just roll right into it. All right guys, now the first thing to remember when you're drawing with charcoal is when you're doing your initial outline, don't use charcoal, use a pencil. I always keep just a regular pencil in my drawing kit to lay out initial boundaries. In this case, what we're going to draw is we're going to draw a bee's wing. Now what I'm doing here is I'm drawing out the outline of the wing itself, and then I'm drawing out the outline of the veins in the wing and exactly where those will lay. And I'm doing this knowing that the actual hard lines that will be seen in the end product after this drawing is finished will come later. These lines that I'm drawing are very preliminary in nature. They are thrown down on the paper with the understanding that they may be erased, or they may disappear off the paper completely once I throw down my layers of charcoal. Now, a couple do's, but more importantly, let's start off with a couple don'ts. So, one of the things you're going to want to keep in mind as you are drawing out your outlines is you want to make sure that you don't push too hard. A lot of times if your charcoal has that scratchy look, typically that means one of three things. Either one, you're pushing too hard on the paper, or you have too soft of paper, or you have the wrong type of charcoal. Like you have like a cheaper charcoal, like a vine charcoal or something like that. Always try to use name brands, whether that be Derwent's or Prismacolors or Generals. That's up to you. And what you're going to want to do here is, now that I have my initial lines drawn out with my regular pencil, now what I'm doing is I'm taking a soft charcoal and I'm throwing it down on the lines that I know are going to be thicker. So this bottom line, this is one of the biggest lines on the entire wing of this bee. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the sharp edge of this charcoal pencil and I'm throwing it down, and I'm running two lines parallel to each other. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in a second. So then I'm going to grab a number 2 smudger, and I'm going to actually pull downward. And what this does is this keeps the line that I just laid down, while at the same time connecting both the top line and the bottom line. So I am softening this line by running my smudger lengthwise with the line itself. And what this does is this actually puts charcoal on my smudger, which is going to allow me to follow the lines of these light veins that I've made with my pencil. And this is part of that layering process, and this is very crucial with the 3-layered method that I use. So as you can see, it's much like painting. You throw down an initial layer with the understanding that you're going to be throwing down darker shades of charcoal on top of it. And that'll give you an effect that is unparalleled. So then what I'll do is I'll take this smudger here, and I don't even necessarily need a pencil or even a charcoal pencil. The smudger, because these lines themselves are so light, the last thing that I want to do is take a hard charcoal pencil and draw a line out here, because that doesn't look realistic. And if hyperrealism is what you're going after, then this method will definitely help you out. So now what I'm going to do is, now that I've laid down that initial shadowing with my smudger, I'm going to take my hard pencil and I'm going to put a line on it. And notice how I don't go all the way to the edge. And what this does is this gives the drawing that extra dimension that a lot of times will be missing if you were to draw that line all the way out to the end. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hard charcoal that I've sharpened, and I'm going to start laying out the heavy lines. Just lay them over the top like this. It's literally all about layering. To be a good artist, so many times all you need to do is just layer after layer. Now a lot of times, if you've noticed, throwing down this hard charcoal on top of the smudging lines is one of the last things that I do. It's not even the first thing. So now what we'll do is we'll take this brush, and the brush is wonderful because it gives you the ability to smear and move charcoal around and give it a very soft look. You can even use the brush to pull lines farther out to where they end. You can accentuate that line, and then it can smear into a very smooth look at the tail end of it, which just gives you more depth. And then you can take your smudging tool, and you can actually use that smudging tool and do very much the same thing, although unlike the brush, the smudging tool is going to be a little bit harsher, so you barely have to touch the charcoal, and it's going to move that charcoal across this mixed media paper. And then again, you can also take this smudger and you can actually create lines without even using a pencil, because these lines are so soft. And if soft lines is what you're after, I highly recommend that you have a multitude of smudging tools, from small to large, and of course that'll depend on exactly what it is that you draw, but I tend to work on 11-inch by 14-inch pieces of paper, so I don't need really big smudgers because of the actual scale of the pieces that I work with. But you can take these smudgers, and these smudgers are wonderful because they are such a great tool for just moving charcoal in ways that you simply can't move with a brush, nor can you move with just pencils. And as you do this more and more, you'll start to realize that a lot of times some of your best line work that will be on one of your pieces won't even come from a pencil. They'll come from your work with brushes and smudgers. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take a hard charcoal here. We'll go ahead and we'll accentuate these lines by highlighting them. Again, we're not going to connect these lines here. And that'll give us that extra dimension that we want. And always remember, always keep in the back of your mind, always start light with your charcoal, and then work your way darker. Start with a soft or a medium charcoal, and then keep your hard charcoal in your back pocket for that last little bit of detail work like we're doing here. Because the hard charcoal is the silk, remember? It lays on top of the soft and the medium, and it makes your drawing overall pop. There you are. Voila. So guys, that is it. That is all I got this week. Now, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys dig what we're building here at Messer Creations, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell. Ding! So you guys can be notified when our newest videos come out. My name is Braden. You guys have just been tipped off. We hope you guys had fun, and I will see you in the next one.